Here, let's get some kids pumped about the fight. Give us a little preview for the fight, and then we'll send you guys on your way, get you some new gear.
Cool.
Come on, that fist is scaring me. Stop doing it.
Yeah, man. Well, definitely everybody tune in Friday night, October 18th, TD Garden.
This will be coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night's the weigh-ins.
Yeah, well, so I'm saying this podcast is going to drop tomorrow.
Okay. I got you. So tomorrow night, tune in, ESPN Live, UFC Boston, TD Garden. I'll be fighting Manny Bermudez in the featured prelim bout on ESPN. So everyone tune in and watch me shine. Hi, I'm Charles Rosa, and this is my golden hour.
Oh God, what's going on? Where am I going? Dad?
Yes, my son. I am Deuce, the deer god.
I'm so confused. Who am I?
Derek. Your true name is Dercules.
Wait, what?
Yes. You are Dercules, the god of the forest. Season 5.
Hosted by your favorite podcast host, Big Bochi. You already know the deal, mother. What's up? Whoa. Just like that, the episode started in the most professional way possible. No, traditionally, I have another producer here, but he couldn't make the episode today, so Wasim's sitting in, which is great. How's everyone's levels? You guys think I'm too loud, or?
I think you're good. I can hear you.
I think you're good.
Can you just hug the mic a little bit? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the whole crank off.
It's better now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Before we start, hey, this is Connor Holloway of the Golden Hours podcast. I'm the most handsome podcast host in the city. Some of you guys can see me if you're watching a video, but if you're not and you're just listening, not only do I sound handsome, but ask Charles, I look handsome. And if you by chance get any sort of value from this episode, you're entertained, you learn something, just share with a friend. That's all we ask. You guys got friends, right? Mr.Rosa, I know you got a couple friends. Come on. Listen, I want you to announce who you are, who's in the building.
It's Wasim Corey, Connor's high school buddy.
Mr.Rosa. Yes, sir.
Charles Rosa, Seabrook Beach. I'm Charles' father.
Probably the most famous dude in the building. I saw the piece on Fox News. Bearing it all. It was awesome. And to my right, I have a young man who is... Yeah, this thing is going to be a bitch the whole time. Do you want to just hold it?
Yeah.
Sure. As I said.
Good.
I'm a hustler, but I'm not professional. I have a young man who has a huge fight coming up in now, like 48 hours?
Yep. Friday night, so.
And to be honest, when you showed up, I expected you to be totally low energy.
Nah, I'm good, man. You know, I'm a professional at this point. I know what I know I've done this over 30 times in my career, so you know, it's like a recipe. You just make it a little better every time. So I'm at the point now where I think I got it down to perfection.
That's that chef-infused sauce.
Exactly.
That's a recipe.
You already know.
Can you give a quick synopsis of who you are and what you do?
My name's Charles Rosa, UFC featherweight. I'm a fighter fighting Friday night at the Garden for the third time. So I live down in South Florida. I trained American Top Team, #1 gym in the world. And before I was a fighter, I was a chef. So I went to culinary school at Johnson & Wales in Providence, Rhode Island, and originally from Peabody, Mass.
So listen, Wasim and I went to college in Providence.
Oh, where? No.
PC, baby boy.
Oh, no shit.
Yes, sir. So we probably went to some of the same clubs.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Were you going to like the Coliseum?
I don't know. I would just go wherever I could. I mean, I was a madman when I was in college. So
yeah, dude, I can't even imagine what Mike was like in college. So I can't even. Dude, you two need a reality show.
Yeah, I feel like in Providence there's no rules. It's like it's an interesting city, you know.
Like, don't you feel the same way? It's like literally a city of outlaws.
Yeah, I mean, every Friday night you see some kind of crazy stuff going on Eaton Street.
Where did you live off campus?
Something.
I lived on Federal Hill. I lived on campus the first year. Then the last couple of years, I lived on Federal Hill, right in top of Constantino's, the Italian spot.
So did you ever migrate over to that like Eaton Street area?
I would go there sometimes, but I never lived there. You know, there was always people around there, so I've been all over.
But J-Wu kids had houses over there?
Yeah, that's what it is. Everyone had houses all over the place, so it'd be everywhere.
Dude, I saw some deadly fights down there.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of fights. There's a lot of fights in
It was a good training ground for you.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I got some good fight stories.
When did you first know you could fight? Like you were good at it?
I mean, I grew up in a big family. Had 4 brothers, a sister. So most of my younger years were spent, getting chased around the house by my older brothers, fighting. Just fighting their friends and stuff. We had a full-size trampoline when I was young, so I don't see those anymore. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but the big full-size trampolines, we used to just fight it.
Net or no net?
No net, no net.
Yeah.
That was before the net days, so this shit was.
Oh, so you, yeah.
Yeah.
And, Pops, you were encouraging the fights?
Yeah, I let them happen.
Let him happen. Yeah, he didn't stop him.
You were entertained.
He wasn't the parent that stopped him, so we used to just go at it, and the trampolines fight each other, and. I also played hockey, so we'd do some locker boxing where you'd take the gloves from the, and the helmet from the hockey bag, and we just, go at it after practice and stuff. So there was a lot of, training. It wasn't formal training, but it was definitely something, because the first day I walked into a gym, they were like, "Oh, where'd you train at?" I'm like, "I didn't train anywhere. I'm a hockey player." They're like, "What?" So
I'm trying. I've just been getting the shit beat out of me for years, type thing.
Yeah, just exactly. You're growing up in in this area, New England. It's it's tough, so.
Well, honestly, I grew up in New England, and wasn't that tough on me too?
Well, it depends who your friends are. There's certain groups of people, there's things, but I grew up as a triathlete playing, hockey, lacrosse, football. So there was back then there was hazing going on, so you used to have to fight the seniors, in locker boxing to be able to get on the hockey team. The freshmen would have to fight one of the seniors in the locker room, and even if the kid didn't want to do it, he'd still do it. Maybe it'd last 10 seconds, but I was the one that would go to the death and take out the senior, and get my respect. So that's kind of how built it up.
Well, so you were getting in fights, but when did you know you actually could fight?
I always knew I could fight. It just wasn't good at first. I didn't have any.
Oh, so you were bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. No, I wasn't bad. I mean, I was always tough. The first day I walked in an MMA gym, I sparred with the UFC fighter and held my own. So, and with no formal training. But I think it's just it's something some people are just gifted with. A good person I like to use an example is Kimbo Slice. He's just a backyard street fighter, and he's also was a friend of mine. Rest in peace, Kimbo Slice. But he was a guy that no formal training, used to fight just in backyards in Miami for money, and then he ended up beating fighting in Bellator, fighting in the UFC, beating UFC fighters without any formal training. So some people I feel are just born fighters, and they have heart, but that doesn't get you to be a world champion. That just gets you so far. There's definitely a cap on how good you can be without formal training. So that day came when I was in South Florida. I just, I thought I walked into a boxing gym and ended up finding an MMA gym, and good story,
How far was where Kimbo was fighting from where you live now? Because, dude, I remember watching that.
40 minutes. I actually, when I first moved to South Florida, I went into Charles McCarthy's gym. It was an American top team, Boca Raton. And I had no formal training. The first day I went in there, I signed up just to do the classes like anybody would. You would go train jiu-jitsu or whatever, paid the monthly fee, $150 a month. I trained there. And after about 3 months of training, every day I would ask him, "Hey, I want to can you get me a fight?" And he's like, "Listen, I want you to be ready. You need at least a year of training before I put you in there." So
you said, "You don't know me, man. I'm tapped."
Yeah, dude, I want to fight. Yeah, let's go. And he's like, "You think you're really tough and you're good, but I want to make sure that you can protect yourself also. Not just you're gonna win fights and get in the habit of winning fights on heart, because that's not the way to do it. You want to make sure you got the skills first." But anyways, so after about training there for 3 or 4 months, I met Kimbo Slice there. I met Icy Mike, his manager.
Big dude.
Yeah, he's a beast. And he actually gave me my first pair of boxing gloves at the time.
Wow.
Once I started training, it was pretty, for me, that was just, it was pretty special. You know what I mean? To get to meet someone like that. Because for me, he was dude, he was like Mike Tyson for some, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking legend, And
you had seen his videos, right?
Yeah. So at that time, he was doing, of course, yeah.
That's Masvidal was in some of those videos.
Oh, of course, right? Yeah. I trained with Masvidal. He's a good friend of mine, and he's in backyard fights. So basically, after 3 months training there, I asked, I actually set it up. I wanted to fighting one of the backyard fights. And somehow, because Charles trains Icy Mike, who like would set him up, he kind of stopped it before it could happen. Like, I was like gonna go do it. I was like, yeah, I want to come down. I'll just do it. What do I do? Like, he's like, oh, just come through. We'll find someone there once you get there. And Charles was like, dude, if you're training at my gym, that can't happen. So that never happened, but it was still pretty cool.
Dude,
like, it could. I mean, I would have, could have, but still, I mean, I would have done it. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, it's the same. It's the same as fighting anywhere else, you know.
So at the time in the fighting community in Florida, everyone kind of knew about those fights.
Yeah. This was 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
It's like early YouTube days.
Yeah, this is when YouTube just got started, and he was a star, and that's what I saw. I didn't know. I knew more about fighters like that, like, than I did about UFC fighters. Like, I knew who Royce Gracie was and stuff like that, but I didn't know if you just named like a random like UFC fighter, if it wasn't like Chuck Liddell or Tito Ortiz, I didn't know who they were. I didn't follow like the whole thing. I just knew like the stars, and I liked watching it. Didn't really know what they were doing, but like for me, I thought Kimbo and those guys were like the toughest. I just didn't know, you know. But
he only lost one of those street fights ever, right? It was versus that Boston cop, and dude, their faces were mutilated by the end of it. Have you seen that video?
No, yeah. And a crazy thing too is that's a gym. Matt Santos' gym in Providence, Rhode Island. And when I was going to college, that was the first gym I ever went into in my life. I only did like one jiu-jitsu class there when I was in college. I rode my skateboard there, I remember. And I was like, when I watched the video, I'm like, dude, that's the first place I ever trained at. So it's like kind of crazy how the world comes full circle. But
did you catch the bug in that first class, or was it after you had moved to
No,
Florida?
I just remember I loved it. Like I went actually, it wasn't just one class I went to a bunch. Like I would just try to go. And I remember always asking, like, they would just let me drill. Like, I was like, I want to fight. Like, they're like, well, like, the professionals, like, you got to like, be a professional to train with the professionals. And, like, that was kind of what I got, like, for the first year of training. And it was probably good because it protected me. Like, if someone gets me in a leg lock, like, I'm a type of guy, like, I'm not going to tap. Like, I don't know. I'm just a, tough kid. I thought I didn't understand it, It's like, you're new to it, you're green to it. But, I learned fast. Luckily I got under Charles McCarthy, who was a former UFC veteran, and he saw, the talent in me, and he was able to build me. Like, there was times, like, I'd be training and I didn't want to tap, and he would, like, tell the guy to stop because I'm going to break my leg, So, like, that definitely helped having, being brought up by a professional that's been through it before and had the blueprint for me.
So, if you're listening, Charles came through here with a fresh lineup. What'd you get that thing done, bro?
I got it
done. That looks
back.
like manicured. You looking good, dog.
I appreciate you, man. No, I have my guy Jay down in Boca Raton, Florida. So he's my guy. So he's a good dude.
So what does it look like today? Mind you, I've newly been getting into the UFC as a business. Like, I think the way that the brand has built up has been so crazy. But what does today bring for you? Because your fight is in less than 48 hours.
What
like, after you leave here, what are you doing? Like, do you have, like, media responsibilities?
Oh, no, yeah, there's a couple things that got set up for me, but more after a fight, I like to, take a week because I've been grinding for the last 10 years, but the last couple months, I've really been grinding, been dieting, been focusing, so I take a week to kind of rest myself, get, just kind of heal up, because always after a fight, whether you get hit once, so you don't get hit at all, or you get in fight of the night war, which I've been in many of them, you're always sore after because the adrenaline rush, like your whole body's shocked and it's sore,
Well, no, I think I messed up the question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was like,
I mean, what does the next 48 hours bring for you? What is that? You're in the middle of your cut. You have certain interviews lined up at the hotel.
Yeah. When I go back, the next 48 hours. I thought it's been after the fight. I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna chill. But the next 48 hours it's actually pretty hectic. The next 48 hours, I go from here. I go to media scrum with the UFC. They'll have like all the major papers, ESPN there, Boston Herald, the Globe, like all the, ESPN interview. So it's, a little media scrum, just bunch of random reporters asking you tons of questions.
Maybe you'll see Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, no, I see Joe Rogan.
Tell him I say hi.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Tell him what's going on over here.
All right, I'll let him know. Yeah, so, and then I go to that. Then from there I do a couple other things like, photo shoot or whatever. And then in the afternoon, I start my weight cut. So that's like the tough part. It's the only part that really sucks about fighting, besides the injuries. But just the weight cut. You really gotta diet. I gotta lose another 10 pounds tonight at least. So
right now you're like 155.
155 plus, maybe a little more than that. And
so can you just be really specific about what that means? So you're gonna like sit. you're gonna have like 10 sweatshirts on, spit in a cup, drink like a teaspoon of water, and eat a celery stick.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my water now because I'm gonna want some later. But yeah.
That was the smallest sip I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's all I can have. But now I just cut out water, and you got to work. I do like 2 hard workouts, and I'll lose 5 pounds each workout, and then I'll be on weight. So, but just with no water. So like usually after you work out, you're thirsty. So imagine working out, not getting a drink, and then having to do it again. And I mean like not just working out, but like soaking wet. You could like wring your clothes out. So.
Hotel gym.
Yeah, just do it there. There's no need to go anywhere else.
Also, just an intensive cardio workout.
Yeah, yeah. I got it. Like I said, I got it down to a science. It's been the last 2 months of eating fish and vegetables and chicken with no carbs. So it's I've already put the work in.
Yeah. So you outside of the UFC, you also cook and you're a chef as well, right?
Yeah, I'm a chef. I just do that like as a hobby now. It used to be the opposite. It used to be my full-time job, and then fighting was my hobby. To where the point now that obviously I'm a professional athlete in the UFC, that I can afford to just be an athlete and just keep fighting keep cooking as my hobby. So that's
well, I was gonna say, how much of a benefit has that been, because you can break your diet down to a total science now.
Dude, I got my meals on point. Like if you go on my Instagram, you can check out like I'm
well,
always
yeah, you're
cooking.
whipping up some scallops. Those look amazing,
dude, yeah.
bro.
It's funny because all the fighters in my gym like, bro, that's what you eat when you're cutting weight. I'm like, yeah, it's like it's
high
just
in fats, right?
Yeah, well, it's people don't understand that like. It's really the key is to, I think, food. The number one key, it's a little secret, I'll tell you, is just ingredients, having the right ingredients. Like, you could have the best chef in the world, but if you give him a piece of fish that sucks, like, he's not going to make it. I mean, yeah, it might make it salty and make it taste, like, decent, but it's just the best way to do it is get the freshest ingredients and just keep it simple, And, my dad has a fresh garden, but up in Seabrook, the whole friggin' house is surrounded by tomato plants and basil and all these different plants. And I mean, I've been picking weeds in the garden since I was like 3 years old, so he's always keeping me at work.
So who cooks in the house growing up? Was it you?
Yeah, me and my pops would cook.
You guys Italian?
Yeah, my dad is. Yeah.
Something about those roses. I didn't preface. So I call him Mikey Bonkers. That's Mike Rosa, or Mikey Caffeine Pills. But you guys are second cousins?
Yeah. So my dad's cousin's son.
So there must be something about those roses. You guys just have a motor?
Yeah.
Are like, what's like a family reunion like? You guys all like bashing your heads against each other, like, let's go.
Yeah, it's cooking. We usually get a competitive, softball game, baseball game or something, football game or something. So yeah, we're always doing something cool, competitive for sure, and always going.
Is there anyone in your family that you couldn't fight?
Couldn't fight?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like I couldn't win? I could fight. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I think
like, do you have any big cousins? You're like, damn. Like I really.
I have one cousin. Like my cousin Ross was pretty big, and he tried me once, and I whooped his ass like a couple of Julys ago. He used to beat me up when I was a kid, so like it feels good to be able to fuck him up now.
You still hate his guts?
Oh no, he's my boy. I love the kid, but he just he gets a little drinks a little maybe too much sometimes, and I got to put him in his place. But besides that, I think my dad would definitely still probably give me a run for my money and put it on me. I don't know if I could take him.
You look like a tough dude, Mr.Rosa.
I think so. I don't know. He's probably the one. And then my uncle Tom the Bomb Rosa. He has over 200 boxing fights, so he's a boxer, and he's six-time world champion. Like in the Masters.
This is your brother?
Yeah, my dad's brother, my uncle Tommy, Tom the Bomb Rosa, man. He's a legend, dude, and over 200 fights through New England, won many tough man competitions.
So who wins, Tom or Chuck, in the fight?
I think different weight classes, so it's tough to say. My uncle Tommy is about my size, maybe a little bit, like 20 pounds more.
Chuck, we're taking it.
Well, it depends what the rules are, so.
Wasim, I don't want to glaze over the food conversation without you being allowed to ask a question, because I know it's important to you.
All right, yeah. So, who's your favorite chef?
I like Emeril Lagasse just because he went to my school. Like I just like watching him. I think he's kind of he just brings a good he just brings in like a good confidence and a good feeling about it. I just like, and they always tell stories at my school like he was a madman in college. Like the teachers are like, oh, Emeril Lagasse used to come here after partying all night and like tell us these stories. And we're like, why are they telling us this? But it's pretty cool. I just think I like him. He's a cool dude,
Well, we had a chef up on the show, Andy Husbands, who owned Tremont 647 or 4.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with him?
No.
And now he owns all these barbecue spots all over the city.
Oh, that's good.
And the one thing, what I think is wicked interesting is the fact that you were able to maintain a career as a chef. Is there's also a certain type of motor you need as that, dude. Like, you're always on your feet. You have to make quick decisions. Yeah. Have you seen a crossover between the two, career-wise?
Of what?
Of being a dope chef and being a crazy fighter.
Well, yeah, it's like it's just hard. It's bottom line hard work. You know, there's some jobs that you can kind of sit at a desk. You know, you type on the keyboard, you go to the fax machine, you walk around, or you maybe walk around the grocery store, you stack some of the stuff. But like most of the jobs I've had in my life are hard work. Like being a chef is fucking hard work.
Always
like,
on your feet, no joke.
Yeah, always working. You always running around the kitchen, carrying pots, like fucking stacking stuff, like checking, swiping down counters, like, you know, doing this, the wax on, wax off, cleaning stuff. It's like, you believe it or not, but like it's all relevant. And then your hand-eye coordination with the knife skills, you got to be chopping. So I mean honestly, when I was training, it was funny because when I'd be training for fights, I'd be working too. So the first fight I ever took, I was working full-time as a chef, and it's almost impossible to get a Saturday night off in a restaurant as a chef. So I asked the chef, I was like, hey, you know, next week I'm going to be fighting. Like, you think I could dip out for a couple hours and then I'll come back after if you're really busy? And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fighting. And luckily for me, his name's his name Tony, Chef Tony, and he
shout out to Chef
Tony for, you know, giving me that chance, you know, the break, you know, to be able to you know. So he's like, yeah, no problem, you don't have to come back, you can take off. And it's just funny because like I was like, oh, I'll come back after the fight. He's like, no, you're good. So that was it. I started, and yeah, you know, that's how I started, just fighting.
I would never in a million years send a dish back if I was eating at your restaurant. Dude would come out with a clothesline or something crazy.
No, I worked in a nice spot. It's like a 5-star restaurant, Cut 432 Steakhouse in Delray Beach. If you're ever down there, definitely check it out. The place is amazing. It's like when I went to Florida, like after having my culinary degree, I wanted to find the way I found the restaurant. It's like I want to go to find the best restaurant I can. It's the best restaurant I've ever seen in my life. And the second I walked in there, I'm like, dude, I want to work here. And I'm like, so I went up to the lady at the front desk. I'm like, hey, can I work here? She's like, no, we're not hiring. And I was like, where's the chef? I just walked right in the back. The chef's like, what the fuck do you want? I was like, I want to work here. He's like, what makes you think you could work here? I was like, well, I went to culinary school. He's like, where'd you go? I went to Johnson & Wales. He goes, okay, well, do you have a passion for food? And I was like, well, I don't think I would have went to 4 years of culinary school if I didn't have a passion for food. And then he laughed. And then she goes, come in tomorrow. So that's how it started.
Why did you initially shift down to Florida?
I was struggling like a lot, like, you know, just pretty much like mentally. Like I lost my 2 older brothers, Dominic and Vincent, to drug overdoses when I was 16, and then the following year when I was 17, I was still able to get, you know, graduate high school and get my culinary arts degree in college. But you know, that was just kind of hustling through college. You know how it goes, like you just get your work done and make it happen, but kind of squeak by. But yeah, man, I was just struggling a lot mentally. Had a lot of things like going through personally, and I think I needed a change, you know. And that's pretty much when I went down there and changed my life, and I think it was for the best, man. I just made a decision that I didn't like the way I was living, didn't like the choices I was making, and I guess they call it like a spiritual experience or whatever it is, but I just remember looking in the mirror one day and not being happy with myself and the choices I was making. So I made that choice and I did it, and dude, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
So were you disciplined before you got to Florida, or did you need to go to Florida to become a little more head straight on?
I was it depends what it was, you know. I was a sports player my whole life, played, like I said, triathlete, so I never missed a practice. I would show up every single time. But as far as like, yeah, I was always disciplined, but I just never it was a lot of things that I learned, you know, like from martial arts that taught me things that I didn't have, you know. I mean, my dad always raised me tough, you know, to never give up, to work hard, and as long as I try my best, things like that and stuff like that. So, you know, always make sure, you know, try to be, you know, pretty much stuff like that, just like never giving up, being strong, putting all your effort in, stuff like that. So even when I play hockey or bring home my report card, like if my report card said, you know, all C's, but it's, or D's, or even like an F or something, like, well, maybe not an F, but, you know, but like if it said, but then if it said in the comments, like trying real hard or something, but if I got like a B and it said like lacking effort, like you'd be more mad about something like that. So it was just like stuff like that was the way I raised and was brought up. So, but I did learn a lot through martial arts for sure, and that, you know, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
It was the BJJ specifically.
Yeah, BJJ specialist, and you don't get that unless you're really dedicated and disciplined. So.
Did it change the way you think about, like, kind of persevering through tough times with BJJ? Because I've listened to too much Joe Rogan, but he talks about it all the time. He's like, dude, if you put yourself under intense stress physically, like in a BJJ match, then you can apply it to other places in your life.
Yeah, I've done over at least 50, I don't know, maybe I don't even keep count of these, but I've done over 50 matches, jiu-jitsu matches, like at tournaments like Grappler's Quest, Nagas, World Championships, Nagas, Pan Ams. I've traveled to California and competed in all of them, and it's the same feeling as going into a fight, man. It's stressful, I mean, that it's not getting. I mean, it's definitely not. I shouldn't say the same feeling because it's definitely not. It's not the same shit,
your jaw's not gonna get shattered.
Yeah, you just know, like, worst thing, I'll get my arm popped or whatever, and like, worst thing. But the thing is that it's dangerous for me to do that stuff because I'm not the type of guy to quit. I'm like. So now I don't do them as much because I know if someone catches me in an arm bar, like, I'm gonna let it break before I quit. So it's like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really worth the risk and reward right now because where I'm at. But yeah, man, I love grappling. That was my first thing I fell in love with in martial arts. And dude, I'm a beast in grappling. That's my thing. I don't think.
Manny is too. That's his strong suit too. It's gonna be a sick fight.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Do you think it's been a benefit? So you've taken what, like a year and a half, 2 years off of fights?
I haven't fought because I wasn't medically cleared, but I've been training. I went to Thailand, Holland, Dutch kickboxing. I haven't.
What was your injury?
Neck injury.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What happened?
Just fucking. I started getting atrophied muscles in my upper body and like my.
What does that
arms.
mean? Atrophied muscles.
The weekend, like, I significantly weaker. Like, you go to like pick up, you do weights and like, man, why can't I do 20 pounds anymore? What's going on? And
Were you just worn down?
Yeah, and then it was overtraining. It was a result of overtraining. I trained for 10 years every single day, 4 to 6 hours a day, no days off sometimes, training on Sundays, just addicted. Like that go thing you're telling he said my cousin has too. Like, I don't know if it's in my DNA or what it is, but I pretty much, there's a saying that my dad said, he's like, if you don't take a break, God will give you one. And I think that's what happened. I just worked it until it broke, and then, but in the last 2 years, I've just completely learned from it and changed the way I do things, a lot, I got everything down pretty much I got the blueprint now, I've learned from my mistakes. I'm 10 years into it now and training in the best gym in the world with the best guys around people. And I've been picking up knowledge along the way. I got guys like Dustin Poirier in my gym, George Masvidal, Colby Covington, and these guys. I ask these guys questions every single day, to hear, like, I asked George the second day after he comes back from his flying knee. I'm like, yo, show me that. You know what I mean? And then I asked Colby, like, questions. Oh, how do you do that takedown? So then I see Dustin Poirier, and I'm like, hey, man, like, how much do you train? Do you train, like, he's like, well, I used to train every single day, all day, but now I train 2 hard sessions a week and one easy, you know what I mean? Like, and I just follow their blueprint and I put it all together and make my own puzzle. And I think it's going to be the recipe to be a champion.
So what was it? Was it a neck mobility thing?
No, it wasn't neck mobility. It was just pain. It was hurt, I think all
the neck just scares the shit out of me.
All guys do jiu-jitsu, they have neck pain usually. You know what I'm saying? Getting guillotined, getting your neck cranked on. And it's just what it is, you know what I mean? But it's just mine got to the point where then it started affecting the nerves, you know what I'm saying? But I've worked through it all, and I'm fucking strong, dude. I'm stronger than I've ever been by a lot. Like upperometers, which is like a thing that tests your muscle, like strength pretty much, like through your nerves at the physical therapy place I've been going. And like, dude, mine's over doubled, maybe even tripled since my injury, and that's like a good, for me, it's a good, like I said, it's a barometer. It tests kind of where you're at. So that was like scientifically, but more, I don't even care about all the science stuff. I'm like Rocky style. Like, I just know how my body feels. So I know myself. Like, I can know my body. I can feel every time I get hurt, I know how bad the injury is. I'm like 1 to 10. Is this a real injury?
What's been the worst?
The worst? I mean, I got my shoulder popped out and in my 8th pro fight, I was fighting this kid, had a triangle on him. He fucking picked me up over his head, and he picked me up and did the rampage slam.
Bam.
Bam. I didn't know why. I thought I was concussed. I was like, whoa. I kept fighting. I got an armbar like 30 seconds later and put him away, tapped him out. And I stand up, and it was funny because my dad was in my corner. I stand up, and I go, to the corner because I won. And instead of like standing up and like putting your hand up and like running around the ring, they just told me to sit down. Even though I won the fight, I finished him in the first round. I sit down, I look over, my shoulders like hanging down. I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? And my dad thought that I had to fight more rounds.
Was it gruesome, Mr. Rosa?
I honestly didn't know what was going on. I was oblivious to what was going on, honestly.
Yeah, but it was funny. He's like, oh, he thought I was gonna have to go another round. He thought the round ended. He didn't know I won because he couldn't. It was like so hectic, you know. Because I basically grabbed the submission, and just ripped his arm, and just popped it, and then he just tapped out, and then they stopped it. But man, it was kind of a bittersweet moment though, because it was like an amazing moment. I just won a huge fight, the one that would propel me into the UFC.
But it's like, dude, now I'm a corpse.
But I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm like, it hurts so bad. It was almost funny. I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. How much this fucking hurts. It like, I was like laughing. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, this hurts so bad. But I just won my fight, and I'm fucking so happy. So what do? You know? So it was good. Luckily, I didn't have to get like surgery.
Did they pop it back in?
Yeah, I didn't feel like pop back in. I just know like it was just the AC joint, so it wasn't actually my shoulder, which lucky is better because like tearing your whole shoulder is worse than just popping your AC joint.
Well, yeah, I tore my labrum.
Yeah, that's way worse. Yeah, the AC joint, it just looks weird. It looks like I get like a little like bump right here. It looks like a little bone, like, but you know, I live with it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, so when you go into fights now, are you conscious of like some of your past injuries in your body? Or when you approach a fight like this, are you feeling fully confident in your body and your mobility?
Oh, dude, 100%. I know, like I said, I know my body. I wouldn't fight if I didn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't feel it, if I feel like I was injured, I'm a smart enough kid, you know, with my life. Like, I love this. And, I mean, once I make the choice, I know when I go into the cage, I'm willing to die in there. Like, I'm going to war. You know, for some people, this is a sport. Like, but my mindset's different. Like, this is, you know, I got all my chips in this. You know, I'm pushing in. But as far as how I feel amazing. Like, it's never felt better in my life. Like, I just, I don't think, I honestly feel better than I ever have because I worked on things that were my deficiencies, you know? Like, I had a lot of strengths and weaknesses and
what was injuries. It, striking or, to be honest, I'm a new UFC fan.
What,
so
deficiencies? No,
yeah.
I meant my deficiencies was what my cousin's best at, strength and conditioning, building muscle. Like, I just felt like I was a weak fighter. Like, I wasn't the strongest, you know? I was an athlete my whole life, but like I think it's like that thing, like, you know how marathon runners look where they're all cardio, they're just like, we're skinny, they're fast. Like, I was like an all cardio guy, but I didn't have a lot of, you know, big strong muscles. Like, I couldn't bench press like 500 pounds like my cousin can. I could just run 20 miles, you know. So I found like a good counterbalance with that. Instead of running 20 miles now, I'll run, you know, 3 miles or 4 miles a day, and I'll go lift, you know. And I never did that before. So, dude, I feel the results. And for my sport, like, football players, they don't go run marathons. They run sprints. You know, they're in short bursts with, like, parachutes in their back because they run short plays. So I wasn't doing my specified training. I was just doing what I thought, like, Rocky did to get in shape. You know what I mean?
You're watching too many movies.
Fucking movies. So, but, you know, now I got it down. You know, I got an American Top Team. They got, you know, Phil DeRue over there, who's, like, an awesome strength and conditioning coach. He has been helping me a little bit, and we got a whole team now, and the sport's really evolved. Like, we have like this mega capital gym that has all the resources I need. Like the UFC Performance Institute, go there in Las Vegas. They got these physical therapists. You know, there's NFL players in the same room training with you, so you know you're in the right place. So, you know, that's another thing too. You know. So,
are you ever able to shut your mind off completely from fighting? Like, can you ever detach from it? You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, I've been having problems with how my business is growing and my show's growing. I can never shut it off, dude.
Yeah. No.
Do you feel the same way?
Nah, man. It's like instilled in me. I try to. I'll go on like but even like when I go on vacation, I'm going to like Thailand to go train Muay Thai. I'm always thinking about fighting, you know, and I'm always ready to fight. Like, I keep my shoes tied, so like if someone steps me, I'm ready to go. Like, you know,
you're really a psycho.
I'm ready, dude. You know, there's not a
those
time.
Hirachis?
Those
are fresh.
Good mobility, you know what I'm saying? So, and I like to.
Well, don't tell Reebok, bro.
Yeah, no, it's all good, dude. But fuck it, they're comfortable as fuck. So.
Dude, the Reebok CrossFits are nice too.
Yeah, no, I just got a pair. They just sent me a sick pair yesterday. They just hooked me up with all this gear.
Tons of free swag.
Yeah, I love it, dude. So, I mean, everything's good, you know.
Yeah, but just back to it, like, are you ever able to just totally shut your mind off from it and, like, kind of like what you've built for yourself and, like, how things are growing?
I try to, but honestly, no. Like, I try to. I do go to yoga. I try to go to yoga. I'll try to do things, but my mind's always thinking about the next fight. And even after the fight ends, like, I'm still thinking, okay, who am I going to fight next? And it's obsessive, you know? It's obsessive, but I feel like you have to be like that to be a world champion. If you talk to almost any world champion in any sports, even, like, you listen to, like, Tom Brady, you listen to these guys, they're thinking that stuff all the time, you know?
Dude, that's honestly why I get along with your cousin so much, because he's the only other dude I know who's, like, totally obsessive about what he wants to grow.
Yeah.
Those Rosa genes, you guys got that motor. I want to go come to the next family reunion, man. This would be a blast.
Let's see if you make it. You got to make the initiation first.
I gotta get the shit beat out of me.
Yeah, dude. Get the thrown in. You got to jump. Well, first, the way you got initiated to start to the family, you got to jump in the ocean in the wintertime. So
yeah,
can you get through that?
So can you elaborate a little on Chucky's fight?
Yeah. So
it's sick. It's great what you do. It's awesome.
Chucky's Fight is a charity. My dad started and me after my brothers Dominic and Vincent passed away from drug overdoses. So it's a charity that's dedicated to help knock out substance abuse. That's the slogan. And basically after my brothers passed away, we put their ashes in the ocean. And so like basically my dad would jump in the ocean every day. I think it was his way to like find peace, you know, with it or whatever. And he would do it even in the wintertime. So people started kind of seeing him doing it in the wintertime, and they're like, you should do something with this. And he's like, what? And basically he started getting corporations like the CEOs of companies and people or big groups of people to come jump in the water and they would, like, you know, maybe give the boss, like everyone from the business would give the boss like $100 to go jump in the water kind of, and they film it and do the thing. And he's raised over hundreds of thousands of dollars to help kids with substance abuse problems. Like some kids don't have insurance money to get into a treatment center, or some kids aren't educated on it. So he goes to not elementary schools, but like middle schools, high schools, talking to kids about the dangers of substance abuse.
So where does because I saw a YouTube video, where does most of the money go?
It goes to people that cannot afford treatment after they get detoxed. They want to go to sober living so they don't go back to the same toxic environment. And we scholarship them $200 just to get them in the door, and then the journey becomes theirs. You know, they're in a place where they're fighting the same fight everybody else is, you know, going back to
the terrible situation they were in before.
Exactly, yeah. So, and we spent $60,000 last year on scholarships, usually about $150 to $200 at a time, because we have deals with the different sober living houses, and it was a family thing too. Charles has helped Lucas and Francis, and Teresa and Charles's mother does all the real work. I just go out there and do my thing, but she's
show that six pack. You go out there and show the six pack.
Big right hand though.
Yes, sir. Has how much has the charity grown by a year?
I don't have a quality answer there, but we've never turned anybody away. Anybody that I don't want, New Hampshire people call if they meet the criteria, but we have to know they're serious. We ask them some pretty personal questions, and if they've completed a detox and they've done their legwork and they get a blessing from their case manager that they're doing the right thing, we'll make a deal with a sober living house. Sometimes they want $500 or $1,000. Give them $200 to get them in the door, and then they get a job and they do what they got to do. And that all happened by accident. None of this was planned.
It was totally organic.
Yeah, and I never wanted to speak in front of even a group of 10 people. You know, when I was asked, I don't let much bother me, but I was actually like nervous. I go, what if I say the wrong thing? And then this teacher told a teacher from Timberlane High School and Phillips Exeter Academy, and I've been going there, and I don't lecture. It's question and answers. Usually the teacher leaves the room, and at the end of the presentation, if they want to make a pledge to make healthy choices, they get a dog tag as a reminder to make healthy choices. We've given away almost 100,000 of these, and we see people all the time with them that will say, "Oh, do you remember me from this certain school? You came to my school 6 years ago, and I still have your dog tag on my mirror." It was an idea we had to try to give them something, even if it was a powerful message.
Yeah,
give them something to remember them, to remember it by, and people put them on their keychains or in their mirrors or in their pocket. So when they get confronted with a choice to that they don't want to make, they put their thoughts in the dog tag and think about something that will remind them to make a good choice. So that's what we do.
So, are you wearing like a Chucky's Fight badge on your shirt, or?
I wish I could. I used to, but the Reebok deal is just Reebok now, so they don't allow it no more. But yeah, I would have liked to walk out with my Bruins jersey. Like I did before when I fought my first UFC fight at the Garden, my first UFC win. I walked out with the Boston Bruins jersey on, with Chucky's Fight patch on it, and like
that's fire.
American top team. It was fucking epic, dude.
What'd you come out to, shipping out to Boston?
Yeah, shipping out to Boston, dude. Fucking epic,
dude. Loves Boston.
Dude, that's it, man. I walked out with it, and I walked out with the jersey, and it was cool because then I got to meet like the Bruins after, because they were there, I guess, watching the game. So I know like Brad Marchand and those guys, and they sent me a tweet like, "Yo, dude, fucking epic fight. Like, we love the jersey. Like, you got to come to a game." So they went to the locker room and got to meet all the guys. It was pretty legendary, dude. It was like, that's been my dream since I was a kid. I loved hockey. I always wanted to walk out of that tunnel at the Garden wearing, Bruins jersey with my name on the back. And
well, your cousin's got season tickets. You know that, right?
No, he never told me.
Yeah, you got to hit him up.
What?
Hey, I'll make sure I get your information after so I can put in the description how people can get involved. For sure. Do you guys sell apparel or anything?
Not really, no.
Okay. My fault.
But get your shirt, a dog tag, whatever you need.
Hey, between you and I, you guys are getting our brand new shirts after this. Look right there.
Sweet.
Also, have you seen those yet?
Oh, sweet. Those are awesome.
Whoa. Crazy.
Nice.
Do you know what song you're coming out to this fight?
I'm coming on the same one, shipping out to Boston. So.
Yeah, how did you secure the nickname Boston Strong?
Someone gave, like any nickname, someone gave it to me. I'm not the one to be giving myself nicknames, like,
Oh, I have like 5.
Yeah.
I call myself Coach Connie. No one ever gave me that.
Yeah, so that's just the way it goes. My nickname used to be, when I fighting through the amateurs, was Rapidinho, because that's what the Brazilians would call me, because I would train jiu-jitsu and I was just fucking savage.
Rapidinho.
Rapidinho, like it means, they call it Rapidinho. Like that's what they call me, and because they don't say the R's, they say Rapidinho, and that means like little fast kid, I guess, or something, from my understanding. So that's what, at least I hope that's what it means. They've been calling it for me.
You should go pick up chicks saying, "Hey, I'm Rapidinho."
I'm Rapidinho. Yeah. So
what's up, brother?
I love that, and I love that nickname. I rocked it for my whole career, and then once I got to, and they called me it because, like I said, I would just roll with all the Brazilians. Always good at jiu-jitsu, but that's, it was an honor to earn that nickname from guys like, good black belts and stuff that gave it to me. Rafael Rebello gave me that nickname, and but then when I was like 5-0, I was fighting up in Providence, up in CES, and and that's in Twin River Casino, and I was 5-0, and then
what were those fights
I
like?
choked it was just pro fights. They're fucking just as
a lot of cig smoke in the area.
Yeah, dude,
Twin River gets crazy.
Yeah, it's a fun place, dude. I got the whole. It's like a home game for me though, because everyone's there. It's epic. They actually built a whole section. Like, got to buy stands because I was selling so many tickets. It was epic. But I choked out, I think I had 5 or 6 submission wins by chokes. So they started calling me the Boston Strangler, So I was just choking everyone out.
Oh, you love that, though,
so
right?
I was fucking cool. I thought it was awesome. So I was the Boston Strangler for about 3 years. And then once I got to the UFC, I do, a lot of charity work and stuff, so it kind of made sense. They were like, "Hey, Charles, I went and fought in Sweden. In Sweden, you know how, they're very, I don't know the word, but, chill country." Yeah, it's like...
What was the word?
Polish country, yeah, I guess.
Pristine.
Pristine, yeah, pristine country. So, and it was my first, and I took it on short notice, took it on 5 days notice. I actually had to cut, I think it was 33 pounds in 5 days for that fight. My first UFC fight against top 10 ranked Dennis Seaver, European guy. And I flew to Sweden, and when I got there, they're like, "Oh, what's your nickname?" I'm like, "Boston Strangler." They're like, "We can't use that. It's too violent." I was like, and obviously I'm not, it's my manager. I'm not the one making these calls, but he's like, "Hey, Charles, they just changed your nickname to Boston Strong. Is that cool?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's cool."
Was this before or after the marathon?
I don't know.
Because I had the
2014.
This was right after, because I had the guy who wrote the book Boston Strong up on the show.
Yeah, that's probably why. That was probably right after. So that name was is.
I'll connect you two. You guys might be able to do something together.
That'd be cool. No, that'd be cool. The craziest thing too is I was actually supposed to fight the Boston before, obviously this fight. One of the kids, the Boston Bomber kids in the fight, he canceled because of a knee injury.
You were one of the Bombers?
Yep.
Zarnev?
Yeah, he actually fought. Did you know he's an MMA fighter?
The older one?
He fought in Massachusetts before. Yeah.
You would have folded him.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking would have fucked him up so bad. But you know, it's just hit whatever. It's it's nothing to do now. But anyways, so yeah, that's what were we even asking? I don't know.
I don't know. We're having a good time though. You guys having fun? Yes. Every time I look at Mr.Rosa, he gives me one of these. Yeah. I'm starting to get a little nervous. Like, don't say anything stupid.
So, but yeah, that's what the nickname. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. I'm trying to think, but no,
well, you know what Manny's is? It's the Bermudez Triangle.
Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle. So I mean, I guess he's gonna get lost in that shit. I'm gonna fucking fuck him up.
I've been trying to be unbiased, but it's actually really interesting because I just dropped the episode with Manny. Just hearing your perspective, you guys are two totally different dudes.
Yeah, I don't really know him.
Did you study any tape on him or?
I watch his fights. Yeah, I mean, I watch his fights, and you know what to look out for. I know what he's good at. You know, just my coaches. You know, they tell me what's up, and I watch it for sure. Watch his fights a lot. But you know. But has he ever? But what if the Bermuda Triangle gets triangled? You know, so we'll see. I have one of the best triangles in the world, but probably better than his. So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. So I've trained with Manny. I got the bag beat out of me.
Yeah. What in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, exactly. Well, again, I'm not a professional fighter. So.
Yeah.
Real quick.
What, did he tap you out like 20 times?
Dude, he was working me. I was just looking like
you got to get your work. You got to get your work in though. It's saying anyone. You got to let him know. You know.
Well, I'm also way bigger than him, so he never really gets to train with bigger dudes.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much insight here. I don't want to blow the fight for anybody.
Nah, dude, it's all good. We're gonna fight. It ain't gonna change nothing. You know what I mean? Like, we're both going in there for the kill, I'm sure. And you know, I mean, I respect the kid. I think. He's a phenomenal fighter. There's no doubt about it. He's formidable. Like he's a beast. You know, but there can only be one. You know, it can only be one winner. So there's two of us gets locked in the cage, and one of us coming out with the W. So
on the UFC end, did you know that UFC was coming back up to Boston? They were going to contract you to fight another Boston dude.
I didn't know. They always put me against the Boston guys. Like, I mean,
is it because that's your brand or like?
No, I think it's just I think it just makes sense for them. You know, it sells tickets. You know, like if you get two guys, it'll because even though like I'm not, so they don't like putting the guys against each other. They train with each other. So all of these guys all train together. So even though I'm from Boston. I don't train in Boston. I train American Top Team in Boca Raton. Like originally, I'm from Boston. I live in South Florida for the last 8 years. I mean, I come and visit all the time, but they all like train with us. So it would be weird to put like two training partners of guys that are friends against each other. So it's pretty cool taking me, someone that left to get better training, to come back and bring him and just see, to see that. And I think it's interesting. It's a cool thing because you're going to see the difference in this fight, the level of training. There's levels to this, and I know what it's like training in Boston. I think it's awesome. It's gotten way better over the last couple of years, but my training partners are world champions. My roles are with George Masvidal, Dustin Poirier, Daniel Strauss, like guys that are world champions. My coach is Mike Brown, former WEC world champion.
How does the sport grow up here more?
Huh?
Like how does Massachusetts?
It's growing. It's happening now because now the UFC is starting to get bigger. It's big enough that
there's a casino here now.
Yeah, exactly. So there's money here now, and it's gonna bring a lot in. But I think that's what it is. It's just I get guys from all over the world too. There's guys from Russia. My training partners, I don't even speak English, and we're just training, wrestling with these Dazestanian monsters. Like I get that, and I go to jiu-jitsu class, and it's all Brazilians, and then I go do wrestling. It's all U.S. Olympic wrestlers. Like every one of my goes with like an Olympic wrestler or like a guy that Division I, Purdue. Like my boy Danny DeSabatello is a D1 All-American from Purdue. He's like my main training partner. I fucking love the kid. He's the Italian gangster from Chicago, Danny Sabatello. But the kid's
sounds like a scrapper.
Danny Sabatello. He's 5-0. He's on his way up. He'll be in the UFC in about a couple months, and that's my point. It's just like these get the highest level of training, and you can't deny. When you go in there and you're going with these guys or beating them, or not necessarily beating them, but you're hanging with them, working with them. That like, listen, if these guys aren't able to submit me or take me down, then how the hell is some random kid, you know what I'm saying? So,
here's the shit talk. Here it is.
No, I'm just saying, it's just, for me, it's confidence. It is what it is,
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious on the phone. I don't know if you remember this, but when we talked initially on the phone, I was like, yeah, actually, I train with Manny. You're like, yo, are you spying on me?
Yeah.
I was like, no, dude, relax.
Yeah, it's all good,
That was pretty funny.
This is war, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I look at everything like that. For me, everyone has a different, mindset, but for me, it's like I have the war mentality. I'm like, and I And that's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? You're either with me or against me, you know? And if you're against me, then fucking you're going to go down. You're going to get taken out like the rest of them, you know?
So I'm just going to ask a couple quick little more formulated questions so we can cut them up for clips.
Yeah.
How has acquiring a business sense been to you as a fighter, and like the necessity to like grow a personal brand to like pick up other fights? Has that been tough for you, or something you picked up over time?
No, I think for me, I have a different mindset on building the personal brand. I think for me, it's like my coach said it to me once. People do all this stuff with like the building the social media, the Instagram, the Facebook, and I love that stuff. I go on it every day at some point and, try to keep my fans engaged. But it really comes down for me, for the level I'm at, is winning fights. Like if I win fights, it's going to grow. It's simple as that, and that's kind of how it is. It's just as long as I focus on what I'm good at, fighting, and I'm getting better and I'm focusing on that, then that stuff's going to come. It's all going to come because UFC has the platform for that. So some people don't have the platform, so that's not true for everything. Like things that people do, the podcast, like even what my cousin does, like with the lifting and stuff. But for me, I have
what is going on, aliens?
Yeah, exactly. So like I have a good platform. The UFC has a setup that if I win fights, I'm gonna grow, and that's it. And that's all I focus on. So it makes it real easy for me now. Everything's easy. I just go, train hard, and hopefully get these W's and become a world champion, and then I'll be where I need to be and have a brand. It'll build itself.
But you don't feel pressured as a fighter on the come up to like be consistently active with growing your business?
My business is fighting. That's my business. So that's what
Let's
I do.
go.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's my business. My business is fighting. It's in the octagon, and that's what I'm going to do Friday night. So, yeah, there's things that I do. I do a ton of charity work. I go, do Project Sunshine, help kids that are terminally ill with cancer. I help out with Chucky's fight. There's even things I do from other kids down in, treatment centers down in South Florida. So there's always things that I'm helping people, and I'm building, as a chef, I'm always posting pictures and stuff about my food and cooking, because I want to keep my doors open and my options open. But right now, like I said, my main priority is fighting, and that's what I got all my chips in. I pushed all my chips in. I don't work at the restaurant much anymore, if not like, maybe once a month.
Is it cut 432?
Yeah, yeah.
I did a little research.
Yeah, it's good on point. Yeah, and
there was like a $90 steak. I was like, damn, this thing is on scale.
Yeah, it's on point. So.
That porterhouse.
Oh, it's fire. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Hey, this is totally random, but can you give us a quick synopsis of like when you're looking at a cow, what certain cuts of meat are? Like,
yeah.
Where's the tri-tip?
So that's like near the belly. So like I never knew, but this is a key fact that everyone got to know.
Well, take notes.
This is a T-bone steak. Do you know what two cuts that is combined?
No.
I didn't.
He's eaten it, but he's never analyzed it.
T-bone steak, all right? It's a filet mignon and a New York strip steak on the same bone. So if you can't decide what you want, a filet mignon or a New York strip steak, what do you order?
Yeah, that T-bone.
Got it. Yeah.
But what if you don't have the budget?
If you're balling on a budget, I don't know. Then you get sirloin. You get sirloin.
No, sirloin's the lowest cut of the meat?
Not the lowest. If you're on a budget but you want something that's good, it's not the lowest. I think
is porterhouse better than sirloin?
Oh yeah, you kidding me? Yeah, definitely.
Okay, can you just give me like the ranking of meats?
Oh, I think filet mignon, which is the beef tenderloin.
Okay.
And then I would say the porterhouse, because that has both. It's just both of the cuts. It's like the New York strip. I mean, on the cow, you know what I mean? It's like it's on pretty much all near the ribs and the belly. Like that's all of it, And then the rump roast is like the chuck and stuff like that. That's like the lowest quality. Like
that's the hamburger?
Yeah, it's the burger.
Okay, wait. So we had top was what?
Yeah, filet mignon.
Yep.
Then New York strip. Then the cowboy.
Where's the tri-tip at?
It's like the basically it's like near the stomach. It's like near the it's near the fucking filet mignon. You know what I mean? It's all like in different spots. I fucking show it to you on a piece of paper, but I can't really.
So after the fight's over and you go to McDonald's, where's that meat coming from on the cow?
I don't even know where it's coming from. It's probably come from the bones, and then they fucking mix it up.
Some nasty meat smoothie.
I don't know, man. I think it is. It's like all the scraps. I think it's from honestly, I think it's like the scraps from the meat factories that they use. That's my understanding.
It tastes good as hell, though.
Yeah, they get the seasons and the flavors and the artificial shit, but I don't eat that shit.
Dude, McDonald's is hidden.
I haven't had that in 30 years.
After this fight, I'll take you, Mr.Rosa. Me and you.
I only eat good food. I'm kind of spoiled, yeah.
There's some good seafood out of Seabrook, I'm sure, too.
Oh, yeah. He digs right in the backyard. There's clam flats. Yeah.
Hey, listen, you guys probably got to run soon, so I want to bang out 2 more quick questions.
Cool.
How's negotiating your contract different than like a rookie contract for you now? Because your 9th UFC fight?
6th, yeah.
6th.
So, yeah.
So you're not on like a rookie contract basis anymore?
No. I mean, that's my manager's job. He just negotiates my contract. He tries to get me the most money he can, and that's pretty much what I do, and that's just his job specifically. Like I said, my job is fighting, so as long as I'm winning fights, I'm getting paid more, and I'm building my brand, everything goes good, and then...
you just delegate all that work.
Yeah, you gotta, you know what I mean? Because I try to get specialists in everything, like with coaches, with management, everything. Everything has to be specified. I try to get the best of everything in the world. If I want the best Muay Thai, you go to Thailand. You want the best Jiu-Jitsu, you get a Brazilian world champion to teach you. You want the best boxing, you get an Olympic gold medalist, coach or something to teach you. You
hang with Mark De La Grate, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly.
He's a beast.
Guys like that. I love that guy, dude. Yeah, so it's the way you do things, and I that's the way I do things anyways.
Have you noticed there's a crossover between business and fighting in what you've done in terms of like disciplines and execution?
Yeah, well, that's the one thing I learned from fighting. I learned from fighting is the most valuable lesson you can learn in life is that if you work hard at something and you don't give up and you put 100% of your effort into it, and I'm not saying like a lot of effort, I mean 100% of your effort. Like you spend every second of your day, like you said, I don't stop thinking about fighting. I don't stop, and you spend every second doing everything you can possibly do to do it. I truly believe you could do anything. And that's honestly
I like totally feel the same way. I feel like you literally can force anything into existence.
I mean, it's crazy as it sounds, but like if you really want something, if you spend every second of the day doing it and you're not even sleep, like you could say, oh, don't even sleep. Like if you just do it all day long until you pass out and then you wake up and do it, those are guys that are world champions. Those are the guys that are successful, multi-billion-dollar people usually. Some people get lucky, but
for sure. Me and you are gonna die young, though, man.
Yeah, I hope not.
My brain's on overload.
Yeah.
Hey, nonetheless, I had a great... Here, let's get some kids pumped about the fight. Give us a little preview for the fight, and then we'll send you guys on your way, get you some new gear.
Cool.
Come on, that fist is scaring me. Stop doing it.
Dude. Yeah, man. Well, definitely everybody tune in. Friday night, October 18th, TD Garden.
This will be coming out tomorrow. So, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night's the weigh-ins.
Yeah, well, so I'm saying this podcast is going to drop tomorrow.
Okay. I got you. So, tomorrow night, tune in. ESPN Live, UFC Boston, TD Garden. I'll be fighting Manny Bermudez in the featured prelim bout on ESPN. So, everyone tune in and watch me shine.
Charles is a great guy. Manny's a great guy, too. I'm so divided. Nonetheless, this is how we start and end the episode. Hey, did you have fun?
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure.
Well, thank you for coming, man.
Thanks, brother. Hey, what's up, guys? Charles Rosa, and this is Boston. What is it?
Oh. Hi, I'm Blank, and this is my golden hour. Then hi, I'm Blank, and that was my golden hour. And Charles came through here dripping with a nicely feathered haircut.
Always on point.
And these roses, man, they got something in the water. I don't know what's going on with these roses.
Wait, say that again? The golden podcast?
Oh, good God.
Dude, I'm fucking hyper. Hi, go. My name's...
I'm Blank, and this is my golden hour.
Okay.
Wait.
Don't say
I'm Blank, and that...
Stop. All right. Say first thing. Hi, my name's Charles Rosa, and this is the golden hour.
Blew it. Totally blew it.
Dude, fucking say it again.
Hi, I'm Blank.
No, I'm Charles Rosa. Go.
And this is my golden hour.
My golden hour. Right.
Hi, I'm Blank, and that was my golden hour.
Okay. Hi, I'm Charles Rosa, and this is my golden hour. Hi, I'm Charles Rosa. This was my golden hour.
No. God damn it, Charles.
What the fuck do you say?
Dude,
I haven't eaten a fucking carb in 2 weeks, all right?
Deadass. This is... Well, honestly, I haven't either.
Right.
I'm with the fighter's dad, and I shouldn't be. This is, and that was. This is, and that was. And actually, now that we're here, I got one more question that I knew I was going to miss.
I think you're fucking with me right now. I'm gonna have to send the fist over.
First off, I'm not going to look at your dad again because that fist is totally ringing in my mind right now. That thing is massive. Nonetheless, this was.
My name's Charles Boston Strong Rosa. This is my golden hour.
Bang. And then,
My name is Charles Boston Strong Rosa. This was my golden hour.
Charles, listen, you're blowing it. This is, that was.
What the fuck are you saying? That was just say it. Say it. What do you want me to say?
Hi, I'm Charles Rosa, and this is my golden hour. Then break. Hi, I'm Charles Rosa, and that was my golden hour.
All right.
You got it, bro. This is all time. No, well, you guys, whenever you get the chance after the fight, go back to our YouTube page.
Okay, I go.
2% of people get this right.
Hi, this is Charles Rosa. This is my golden hour. Hi, this is Charles Rosa. That was my golden hour.
That was executed. All right, let's go. Good work.